Good afternoon, everyone. So today I'm coming on here just to talk a quick update about life and just in general about remembering different responsibilities that we must do as God's children. So I'm not doing any prayer challenge this time or anything. I'm just posting, I guess I could say, different prayers within the book that explains responsibility all the way from Genesis, honestly, from the Old Testament to the New Testament. So I'll give you a couple of scriptures. So the Bible verse that I just thought of that I seen when I was reading about responsibility that really drawn to me was Colossians 3:23, which is actually my mom's birthday, March 23rd, and she just passed. So I didn't even realize that. But basically, it says here that work willingly at whatever you do, as though as you were working for the Lord rather than people. And that's one thing that I constantly always keep in mind whenever I do anything. Like, I constantly always am like, what would God do? Like, I always try to remember what he would do in every situation and do the good stuff, doing good works, like what we're talking about in Proverbs. And just in general, being obedient. And the first thing in responsibility that I liked is when they were talking about Adam and Eve, which is, one of the first stories in the Bible that tells us that responsibilities that Adam and Eve both had. And basically, in the Garden of Eden, they were supposed to take care of plants and animals, and they end up focusing on doing the opposite and eating from a tree that was not supposed to be eaten from, which meant that they were not following through with their responsibilities. And, you have to remember that the choices you make in life can affect the things that you do. So always remember to do good and not bad, because we do not want bad to happen to us. So that comes from Genesis 2:15 through 17, which talks about Adam and Eve, eating from the tree and not following through their responsibilities. Another scripture is from Joseph. This is also Genesis. Genesis 39:21 basically says that the Lord was with Joseph when he was falsely put into prison. It basically, even though he was a prisoner, he still was able to lead over the whole entire prison. They trusted him that much. And he continued to trust in God through the whole entire process when he was in prison. And that was what made him who he was. And if you don't know who Joseph is, Jesus' father, it led him to marry. So continue to focus on God. There is also more like Nehemiah, so stay tuned for that. God bless you guys, and I'll see you next time.